What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Flash Speaks back for another video. That was a hell of a fight last night, man. It was a hell of a fight. And, of course, I made me some money. You know what I mean? Those who were smart, and they made them some money, too. You know, I had Crawford winning. I knew it was unlikely that it would be a stoppage on the part of either guy because both guys have never been stopped. You know what I mean? So that and just out of respect for both of them, to predict a stoppage is kind of wild. I really think so. I'm not surprised it went the way it went. Definitely feel like the decision should have been is unanimous. I don't believe it was as close as some of the scorecards had it, but I will admit there were times of the fight, or there were rounds in the fight that I think were difficult to score. So if you're a judge, like kind of sitting at ringside, I could kind of imagine. So 113, I think it was like a 113 to 115 type of one of the judges. I guess I can understand, because sometimes what judges will look at is, if it's hard for them to score, they'll try to look for the person that looks like he's initiating, the one that's following, or the one that's backing up, he'll take points from, like in his mind. You know what I mean? So I think it was some of that for a few of the rounds. Whereas me, I know what Bud was doing. He's kind of like sizing him up, getting Canelo's timing down, because that's what he does. Once he kind of has your timing down, then he starts throwing his combinations. And he starts to retaliate. He starts to, counter punch in his way. So, but I'm not surprised. I felt like, Bud was the better boxer. And usually when you're the better boxer, you can kind of control the action, so I'm not surprised that happened. And to a lot of Canelo fans, like, listen, I do respect Canelo. I respect the way he fought. I actually respect your opinion that Canelo would win. But my only thing I was saying to y'all, and I hope this is kind of a lesson and point out that, like, when you're picking the winner of a fight, you know what I mean? You should be able to bring more than just, somebody's bigger. I think this is the ultimate lesson here, is that, it's not that size don't matter at all in a fight, but it's like, I think people put too much into, how big who the bigger fighter is, who the supposed stronger fighter is, man. And less emphasis on skills, on talent, on sharpness, on timing. It's like, and things like that. And, this takes away from the sweet science. The sweet science, when we talk about that, it entails those things, man. Cutting off the ring, angling. Those are the things. And Canelo is good at that. He's not bad, I actually gained a lot of respect for Canelo. So he was catching Crawford with some stuff, that I didn't think he would catch him with. And I think he got Crawford's respect and attention too, with some of that. So shout out to Canelo, man. He's a great champion, But last night a better man actually won. It was just one of those things, man. If they go to do a rematch, I would love to see that. I think that would be great for boxing. I think it would be great for both guys' resumes. Definitely they would make a ton of money for it, because it was a type of fight where I think, it was a win. To me, it was a I ain't gonna say easy win, because beating Canelo is not gonna be easy. But I do think it was a clear victory for Crawford. But I think it was a type of fight where I don't think Canelo feels like he can't beat Crawford. I don't think it was that type of thing. And Canelo fans probably feel like there was some meat left on the bone. In other words, they probably feel like, if he comes with a different strategy or in a different way, there could be a day where he beats him. So I can see a rematch in the works, and I hope there is one. And so this was obviously the greatest win for Bud Crawford's career. But there was this big theme last night of Max Kellerman kind of starting, and then I started seeing online, and it's the talk of GOAT status for Crawford with it, and it's like I don't understand that. Like, really, I don't know why there's this obsession with like crowning everybody the GOAT. Everybody got to be the GOAT. Who did this? The latest thing is just this person is the GOAT, and I guess that's just the time we live in. But I don't see how or why. I don't see how or why, because now it's going to lead into discussions about resume and who fought who and what era was better and stuff like that. Listen, there's no doubt in my mind, and I have a general belief that great athletes would be great, in any era. And I think this is the same with Bud Crawford. I do think he could hang with the 80s era of, guys like Leonard and Hagler and Hearns and Duran. But if we say GOAT, then what you're saying is he would just beat all of them. You think so? I don't know about all that. And then even before he gets up there, he got to get through Aaron Pryor and Alexis Arguello, like when he's in the lighter rounds, and Hector Camacho and Senior, and it's a lot of fighters, man, that fought back then. I don't know, man. And then what about the Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins era? Does he wash them? You see what I'm saying? I don't know about the James Toney, man, one of my favorite fighters all time. Does he just wash all those guys? I know they were a little bigger, but we start talking gold and we start talking general middleweights and stuff like that. Just beating one Canelo. Because like most people would tell you before Spence, like a lot of people, I respected his his resume, but a lot of people would question it, and these are the types of questions that are going to come up. So, like, I rather just enjoy what he's doing. No doubt he's the best fighter of the post Floyd Mayweather era. Since Floyd, he's the guy. I think that's enough, and I think that's clear to say, man. And the GOAT stuff. How do you conclude? Are you saying he's better than Sugar Ray Robinson? How? It's like that's the part of it that I don't like that happened last night, man. That's the part I don't like. But outside of that, man, great fight. Enjoyed myself. Shout out to Netflix. I ain't had to go out there and pay $100 $70 or whatever craziness they're charging these days for pay-per-views. So shout out to them all the way. Shout out to Sergey Al-Sheikh and everyone who had anything to do with this particular fight, to both camps. It was a great night of boxing, even though some of the undercards were like underwhelming to me. There was that one fight between the Martinez and Mealy that people acting like was a great fight. I thought it was trash. I don't know. Just two guys standing, leaning on each other, just throwing a bunch of soft shit. Can't nobody hurt the other one and all of that. Like, man, please. I don't know. People like different things. I guess some people just like brawls and shit look more like a wrestling match than a boxing fight to me. I ain't think it was great at all. I don't know. Fernando Vargas' son, I think he needed to just give it up. I don't see his dad in him at all. And that was like, I didn't like the undercard too much, too many of those fights, but the main event was great. You know what I mean? So those are my thoughts on it, man. Tell me what y'all think. Peace.